Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. It is your boy, TalonMasterJ here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm here for a brand new piece of content, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting something special here. We are starting the CGT, the Champions of Galar tournament game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Every week we will be recording a game and we will react to it in a analysis form. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta have a co-host with this, and I could not think of anyone better to be on the call with me than my man, the founder of the Sky Pillar Championship, my guy Anthony, coach of the Savannah Sharpedos. What is up, Anthony?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Anthony here. Some people call me Sharpie, just depends on how well you know me.
Yes, and everybody knows that you are a very good battler of my men, and it is an honor to be here with you for this game of the week.
It is an honor to be here. This is, for me, this is not my introduction to the CGT, but it's basically my introduction to the CGT because I just recently got introduced to the CGT, but I've been following it almost the entire time because I've got a couple of friends of mine that are in the CGT. And I've been following them in it for the longest. So to be able to be a part of it in any capacity is, really cool. So I'm glad to be here.
Yes, we are. We know that we have some SPC representatives in the CGT this year. Congratulations to them. We wish them nothing but the best. But this one is actually a unique, interesting matchup, Anthony. We had a battle of the MATTS in CGT Week 1. So the way that Game of the Week works, ladies and gentlemen, is we put it in the pick'ems in the CGT Discord, and the winner is whoever gets the most gold medal emojis. And everybody wanted to see the battle of the MATTS. Dr. Slacking versus Matt O'Shea. On the screen, you'll see the matchup. Dr. Slacking and the Cotswold Whimsicots are the team on the left, and Matt O'Shea and the Montreal Milotics are on the right. Anthony, give me a quick breakdown of what you see from Slacking's side.
So, I'm seeing on Slacking's side, the first thing I see that I like, the first three things that I see right now are just in terms of the team in general. I'm going to say Roserade, Corsola, and Starmie, just because those are probably three of my favorite Pokemon just to use in general. And two of them I've used in draft leagues. Well, I've used all three of them in draft leagues, whether it's, my personal league or in another league that I've been in. But I like the way they fit, or I like the way that they can fit on multiple different types of teams. I haven't really seen so many people use the Johto Corsola, but it does, it gets rocks, it gets recover. It is useful in some aspects. Of course, you've got your spinner with Starmie. Starmie can also be seen as an offensive threat. Same with Roserade, an offensive threat. But Roserade is also, a strong Toxic Spikes user, Toxic Spikes absorber, has access to, good coverage moves with Dazzle Gleam, Shadow Ball. Could be a, very strong offensive asset to Slacking's team. Obviously, Darmanitan is, a threat whenever anybody has it. So that's going to be, and especially in this matchup, I can see Darmanitan putting in a good chunk of work.
Yeah,
I like the Hydreigon. I feel like this team is pretty balanced overall.
Yeah, so what I see on Slacking's side is, like you mentioned, the Galarian Darmanitan. We don't know whether or not it's going to be the Guerrilla Tactics mod or if it would run Zen mode. Now, I don't really see Zen mode ran all that much in Draft League, but it is pretty interesting if Slacking decided to run it. Aside from that, he's got good coverage across the board. Hydreigon is a deadly sweeper. Heatran can do the work as long as it doesn't get in the face of a ground type mon. Beware is actually really underrated because that thing is a physical tank. It can hit hard, and I think Fluffy is its ability, if I'm not mistaken. So to be able to take extra fire type damage is a little bit of a negative, but it does get Earthquake and Swords Dance, so that's something. Sylveon I do enjoy. seen a good bulky Sylveon with the wish sets, hyper voices, pixelate, all that. And Starmie, I know how good a Starmie can be, but it's all in the right setup, ladies and gentlemen. But looking at the other side, we've got Matt O'Shea and his Montreal Milotics. You got Articuno, Carbink, Comfey, Incin, Latios, P2, Scizor, Swampert, Tangrowth, Terrakion, Toxtricity. Anthony, at first glance, I have one word, 5 letters, bulky. Is that a good word to use for Matt's team?
Honestly, I'm not sure because you're looking at the bulkiest Pokemon on this team would probably be the Tangrowth, Porygon, of course, and then you've got Pokemon that are like sort of bulky or bulky in one aspect versus another. You got obviously Scizor can be physically bulky, and Articuno especially bulky. Carbink is bulky in general, but doesn't really have a whole lot of HP. But it's still good enough to like set up screens. Comfey can be decently bulky depending on how it's run. Swampert obviously is bulky, but depending on its set, it's a bulky pivot, which I think is good for this team because he really doesn't have much bulky pivot on his team. With just Swampert and Porygon, Scizor if you want to count it. I can't say it's particularly bulky, but it does have decent enough bulk.
Yeah, so like when I look at Matt O'Shea's team, I mean, the reason I say bulky is mainly because of the mons that you just mentioned. The Tangrowth can be massively bulky with that regenerator ability. Porygon 2 we all know Porygon 2 and a Dusclops. If you ever see those in a matchup, 9 times out of 10, that mon is having Eviolite, so you have to have a Toxic mon in the back because you know it's coming. Scizor, I mean, I've seen Matt run Scizor and Swampert before, and he's been very, very effective with both of them. I don't really know much about him with Terrakion, though, or Incineroar. Now, the wild card on Matt's team, I think, at least in this matchup, is probably that Articuno. Because if we look at the matchup, Articuno has super effective moves to hit the Beware, the Corsola, the Hydreigon, the Roserade, the Landorus, and the Starmie. And I think it might get Steel Wing too, so that could even take the Galarian Darmanitan and the Sylveon. So Articuno looks really good in this matchup in the right setting. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong in terms of his coverage moves and everything. I think the bigger threat for this particular matchup is actually going to be Terrakion. Because a Banded Terrakion is really smacking Dr. Slacking's team. It doesn't, regardless of whether it's a resisted hit, if it hits Gotham Cell close combat or hits the Landorus or Starmie or whoever it is, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt everybody. Stone Edge is gonna hurt everybody that pretty much isn't Landorus or Corsola. I know it gets Iron Head as well if he wants to deal with Sylveon. It really could run Expert Belt and just have all access to all of its moves instead of running like a Scarf or a Band. But I honestly think Terrakion is probably going to be the biggest threat here because it's fast, it's strong. You look at it almost as if it's basically Matt's version of having Galarian Darmanitan on its side.
I see where you're going.
The only thing it really doesn't get is a pivot move, which we need to be happy Terrakion doesn't get a pivot move because that would be scary.
Yeah, Terrakion with a pivot move would be very scary, and Cobalion already is that itself with Volt Switch at times. And then looking at the speed tiers, as we see in the middle, ladies and gentlemen, you see every Pokemon speed tier. There's actually a lot of parity in these tiers. So there's a lot of base 60s, but the highest mon is that Starmie, and the lowest is that Corsola. So in terms of who's going to have the speed advantages minus any choice scarves, it's actually a lot. It's actually really even, wouldn't you say, Ant?
I think it favors Matt just a little bit, just because his is a lot more balanced overall. He does have, of course, more 50s than, and he doesn't have, the worry about the 35 speed from Corsola. But I think overall, in terms of being able to maintain like a sense of momentum when it comes to the speed tiers, I think in his case, being able to be slow or be able to be slightly faster is going to work in his favor more than hinder him. But it really depends on how well they want, or how well the other team wants to work around the fact that his team, that O'Shea's team, is relatively bulky, like you mentioned earlier, and has that ability to kind of do what it wants to do. But I think as long as they just keep hitting hard, I think being offensive is probably going to be the biggest name of the game. You can't really play scared in this one.
No, you definitely can't play scared, especially in the CGT, because all these coaches, they've been voted on for the entire duration of Sword and Shield. Ever since Addison started CGT, she had the commissioner's poll, which, if I'm fully honest, I said it when I announced it, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony is the commissioner of the SPC. I thought for sure you were on that commissioner's poll once, but I couldn't find one with you on it, unless I was going too recent. Were you ever on that poll?
So I was never on the poll. I did consider it, but I basically, I guess, backed down just because I really felt like I was a little bit too new, like not necessarily too new to like draft leagues in general, but too new in terms of like being a commissioner myself. And even though I have like some part-time commissioner, and then of course, being a commissioner of my own draft league, I just kind of figured maybe I'll wait until my league hits, its third season, which, of course, will be coming up with Scarlet and Violet, before I went to start dipping my foot into the CGT poll, the commissioner's poll. But it is something that I did very heavily think about for a while.
And I get that, because that was something that I was very curious about. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the battle, we're going to make our predictions as to what Pokemon come on this team. So, Anthony, you will take Matt O'Shea's team, and I will take Dr. Slacking's team. I am predicting Galarian Darmanitan, Hydreigon, Roserade, Landorus Therian, Starmie, and Heatran.
Okay, for Matt O'Shea's team, I'm going to go ahead and say Terrakion and Scizor definitely come. After that, I'm going to say, let's see. I do agree. I do think Articuno might come because I feel like Freeze Dry is a very valuable asset in this matchup. Tangrowth probably comes as well. And Toxtricity, just in case he does want to set up that Toxic Spikes with Roserade. You want to have that grounded poison there. And then I feel like Porygon is never a bad option to have. So we've got, let's see, Scizor, Terrakion, Toxtricity, Tangrowth, Articuno, and Porygon. Yeah, those are my 6.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the battle, and it starts now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, they are searching for their trainers as we speak. They did a live competition, as some CGT and draft leagues do. Land servers can be a real pain in the you-know-what when it comes to connecting. Fair to say, Anthony?
Absolutely. I know I've had my fair share of issues with LAN at times. Not too bad, but I know for me, it's the issue with LAN is connecting to people in other countries. That's been the hardest part for me. But sometimes even connecting with somebody, within the United States can be a hassle, depending on the situation or depending on how the servers are doing. So I do appreciate the battle competition because it just makes things a little bit easier because you kind of just, what you're getting. You don't really have to worry about the extra issues.
Agreed there. And we see the team previews, ladies and gentlemen. We see Heatran, Landorus, Gothitelle. I did not pick Gothitelle, so that's interesting. Beware. I don't think I said Beware. Starmie and Sylveon. So I think I went 50%, and I think Anthony went 100%. Oh wait, no,
No, I definitely went 50. I definitely had 50% because I didn't say Latios. I had a feeling Latios might come just for the offensive presence, and the only reason I can really see Incineroar coming is for Intimidate. But I didn't like Intimidate in this matchup. But an AV set might not be too bad, and then or maybe a fully offensive set couldn't be bad here either. And then Swampert's just a solid pick, Stealth Rock, Flip Turn. So I'm really interested to see this matchup play out.
I am as well, and Matt is almost locking in his team. We see the team there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, so we do not know what moves are coming. You will see the Champion of Galar League logo. So we have put that deliberately in the corner so we can obscure what the moves are. So we do not know what moves are what. You see Jill as a lead. That is the Swampert versus the Landorus. So right there, Matt has an early advantage, wouldn't you say?
So I'm predicting here. Honestly, I don't think Stealth Rock. I think Stealth Rock comes out. I think it's free for the Swampert, but I also see Flip Turn being an option too. But Landorus is probably just going to U-turn if he doesn't hard switch out. But I guess we'll see. I think Stealth Rock is safe for both of them. But if I'm not the slacking, I wouldn't risk taking too much damage on Landorus early in case he does decide to go for the Flip Turn. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm actually curious as to what the Landorus is going to do here, because, I mean, the Swampert could even have Ice Punch or Ice Wing. As we see, a Grass Knot.
Okay, that's fair. I did not think about that, and I should have.
And there's the Ice Punch.
Oh, the Ice Punch. Okay. So they both went to the offensive side, and neither one of them died.
Neither one of them died. Both went to the red. We see the Leftovers proc on Jill. So Swampert was a Leftovers mon. And unlike other leagues, we should also have mentioned, CGT is no item clause. So you can have 2 or even 6 of the same item, hypothetically speaking.
Now, in this instance, I feel like Stealth Rock is free for Landers if he decides to go for it. I don't think Swampert stays in because I just feel like it's too early to go ahead and let a mon be sacrificed. But, okay, so he went for the Earth Power. I guess just going to get the kill. I feel like Swampert could have been used a little bit later in the battle, but it's fine, or it might be fine to just let it go here. But that's one free kill, well, not free, but yeah, basically a free kill for Landers early in the game. And I wonder what he sends out next.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually curious about it myself. But the first kill of the game of the week goes to the Landorus Incarnate, as we see
Gladio.
And boy, if that doesn't get Tom Petty vibes right there.
So I'm thinking that the Latios might be scarfed. I also know that Landorus probably isn't hitting it with anything. So in comes Bulma. Bulma, of course, is our Sylveon. I don't think he goes for a Dragon type move here, but it's always good to have Sylveon as your special defender as the Side Shot comes in.
And it does about 40% maybe, but we see the Leftovers proc on the Sylveon. So, I mean, Sylveon is a very underrated defender for its Pokemon. I mean, most people just know about Pixelate with Hyper Voice, try to throw a Throat Spray on it. But it can get the Wish Protect sets off. It's basically what Umbreon was for the longest time, just with the Fairy type slapped on to be able to avoid a Dragon type.
I can see it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of leaving Latios in here unless he's like a little bit bulky with a weakness policy. But so I consider it extremely risky. Now, with the Wish coming out for Sylveon, it's probably going to go for Protect just to get its health back because I feel like he's going to want to have Sylveon later just to have it as his Latios check for, throughout the battle. But we'll see. Yeah, the Protect here, that was pretty obvious. So I'm wondering what he goes for here. Ooh, nice pivot.
That is a nice play by Matt O'Shea right there, getting the pivot on Baton Pass, knowing the Protect was coming. I mean, who knows if he knew the Protect was coming, but most of the time when you have a Wishmon out there, you're going to have Protect on there.
Especially if your Wishmon is at pretty low health, which it was.
Yes. Alright, so Matt's next Pokemon, his third Pokemon of this battle. We are waiting to see what Matt selects here. Because
See, this is where I would have Swampert, because I feel like Swampert right now against the Sylveon would be a good matchup, because now you know that Sylveon's not offensive, and you could have just set up Stealth Rocks here.
As we see Escanor, that is the Incineroar.
That's interesting.
Incineroar Intimidate. I know Incineroar gets Fake Out and Parting Shot, but I don't know if it gets any coverage on a Sylveon. I don't think it gets Poison Jab, does it?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I want to say that it does, but I don't see it doing anything in this matchup. The switch is nice. I do like the switch, but I feel like all he does here is probably goes for Parting Shot because Fake Out. Ooh, is this a Rocky Helmet? I didn't check I didn't look at the items. Iron Head. Okay, there it is.
I did not know that Incineroar got Iron Head.
So let's see. Oh, he could have Stealth Rocks on this thing now. He could have Stealth Rocks on Heatran, and that's probably going to be an issue because I don't think Latios is going to have Defog, and I can't remember what hazard clearance Matt had on his team. And there's a Darkest Lariat. It's probably going to do decent damage, but not a lot because this does look like a physically bulky Heatran.
That did a good amount of damage to that Heatran. We have to remember Darkest Lariat is a move that avoids any stat changes. So if that Heatran hypothetically was a Iron Defense Body Press, it would not matter. It does the same damage all the time. As we see in Earth Power, that does just over 50%. So that's making me think, is the Incineroar not AV?
That Incineroar is definitely not AV. I feel like it would have probably not done half. And I don't think this is an offensive Incineroar, but I feel like he's trying to go too offensive. I feel like he's playing into the long game. He's trying to get a damage off on as many Pokemon as he can so he can set up somebody to be the sweeper. And I'm thinking that somebody's probably going to be Latios, but with the Baton Pass, I'm not even sure.
I honestly have no idea at this point. As we see Matt withdraw the Incineroar, brings back the Latios.
Expecting Earth Power.
It is not Boots. As we see a Dark... Oh!
Ooh.
That's a prediction.
And there's no weakness policy either. So that's definitely not it.
There's no weakness policy and no Boots. So it begs the question, what is that Latios' item? That is something that I'm very curious about right now. Because, I mean, Latios, I don't think, if I'm remembering, it does not have the greatest defenses. I think Latias was more of the defensive one, if I'm not mistaken, and Latios was the offensive, right?
Right. Latios is definitely the defensive one. Latios is the offensive one, but I didn't see a Life Orb on this thing. I can't say if it's expert or anything. Here comes the Sylveon again. He's really, actually right now, I think that wasn't a bad play at all, because now Sylveon, it might be, with the leftovers, I think it's just outside of the range of another side shot kill. But you never know. I don't feel like Latios stays in here. But then this allows another wish. This allows, him to go offensive with Sylveon if he wants to. So I'm going to say Matt is definitely on the back burner, in my opinion, the way things are going. Because he looks like he's getting pretty out predicted, and he's taking just as much damage as he's dishing out.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, Matt's a little bit on the back burner here because the Latios is just over 25%. The Incineroar's under 50%. He's got 3 Nons that have yet to see the field. As we see the Protect come out on the Sylveon, and Latios does Size Shot. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but is it possible that Latios... Because I don't know what the calcs are. Do you think maybe that Latios is Specs? Or Scarf?
It's definitely not, because it went from Side Shock to Baton Pass, so it's not choice locked. But I want to say that I'm gonna assume that it doesn't, or that not just like he went for the Protect because he didn't think that Sylveon had enough HP to take another Side Shock, so the extra Protect HP, which it looks like that definitely mattered. So now the wish was free. Expect another Latios Baton Pass, because there's not really any reason to let it stay in, knowing it's not going to, not going to do any damage. So go ahead and see what your next answer for Sylveon is. But this thing is going to be extremely hard to take down.
Agreed. As we see the Protect come out. And Latios goes Earthquake. Ooh.
That's interesting.
Okay, so we know that the Latios had coverage for Heatran.
Which is smart. I don't think he would have switched out into Heatran in that situation, because my goal, if I can heal my healer, I'm going to heal my healer first, then heal my team. But I do like the idea of going for it, because now you can't go for another side shock, and he's just going to keep trying to whittle this thing down. So now Boma is in this position where if it didn't go for Wish in that particular spot, it would go down to another side shock, even if it did manage to get another Protect off. So now the Wish is free, the Wish Protect is free. I really think that he should go ahead and switch out the Latios, but I can also understand trying to stay on the offensive and keeping as much momentum as you can. But yep, there's the baton pass.
All right, the Latios goes back to Matt. And what comes out next? Because we saw the Incineroar does have Iron Head, so I don't know how much damage that can do to a Sylveon.
An Iron Head from Incineroar onto a Sylveon is probably going to knock it out, because I feel like if the Side Shock is doing as much damage as it is, an actual super effective move from a Pokemon that's actually what looks like to be an offensive Incineroar should do a decent amount of damage.
Alright, so we see the Porygon 2 come out.
This is probably going to be for Toxic. I feel like he's going to try and limit that Wish potential and just get this thing poisoned, because I don't think I don't know what he does in the situation, so I think he's predicting the Toxic, which is why he switches out into Heatran here.
I agree with that, and right now what I'm just trying to think about is that Porygon 2, the nickname, at least. You see it, you see Varric, but we see the Heatran go down to the Porygon 2, and I don't think we saw Download or Trace, so is that Porygon 2 analytic?
Oh, definitely. Being as slow as it is, knowing that his opponent is probably going to bring all of his faster Pokemon, I definitely like the analytic Porygon. I like the Discharge, predicting the switch, because Discharge is going to hit everything except for that Landorus, and Porygon 2, of course, is not worried about a Landorus. But I definitely like that play there, knowing that he's probably going to switch out and prevent the Toxic from happening.
Agreed, and I like the Landorus coming out here. Now, we saw Earth Power and we saw Grass Knot already on this Landorus, as Matt withdraws Varric, brings up Escanor.
Knock off. I think that's just for the sake of, I think Landorus gets knockoff. I'm pretty sure it does. Yep.
Yeah, it does. The Incineroar loses Heavy Duty Boots. It was a Boots Incineroar.
And I'm surprised we didn't notice that earlier, that it wasn't taking Stealth Ride damage, because that definitely would have had a significant impact on what it was able to do. Now, I do think that it gets sacrificed here. I know it's got the Protect going just to stall out one more turn, but I definitely think that he might be trying to see if it's choice locked, but I think Escanor goes down. I don't really see a reason to keep it. Outside, Intimidate is useless. Yeah, there it goes. That is very bulky, but it went down anyways.
Alright, so it is now 5-4 in favor of the Cotswold Whimsicots, which is honestly a really good matchup right now. Both sides aren't really getting a true advantage over each other. And that's honestly the kind of battles that you want. You want battles that aren't necessarily big sweeps, but you want them to be competitive, to where it gets to like one play turned to the top, in a sense.
The one play I happen to agree with that. I like the back and forth. I like the ability for both of them to be able to maintain the momentum as we see the Terrakion come out here. Now, I'm going to assume that this Terrakion has got to be Scarf, because I wouldn't bring Terrakion out against Landorus in this situation. And if I'm not slacking, I'm switching out, because there's no way I'm bringing the Terrakion out against my landers. And as we see, it's definitely faster.
And ends up taking down the Landorus. So it is now 4-4. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I think Terrakion is naturally faster than Landorus. So that could have been a potential thing that happened there. As we see the Beware come out. Now,
that's going to be good. It's probably going to be able to eat at least 2 close combats. Hopefully.
I mean, it's possible. I know Beware does have a lot of health, and if it's like Team Rocket's in the anime, it'll take any hit, knock out 5 Ultra Beasts, and then take Team Rocket with a helicopter propeller across the Alola region.
That's funny. That's actually a really funny reference. I was just thinking about that.
As we see a Chople Berry Beware, that
yeah.
The Terrakion's close combat as its defenses drop. It's jetpack! Oh man, I know.
Talk about keeping the momentum.
And talk about 2 players that are also in CGT. Addison, she loves Eject Pack. Kirby absolutely hates the damn thing. So, to see the Eject Pack work out here, that is huge.
Eject Pack seems like it's such an underrated item or an underused item because you both gain and lose momentum by using the Eject Pack, but it just really depends on the situation in itself.
Agreed. As you see,
and
that
does decent damage.
It does do decent damage even through what is undoubtedly Eevee.
Not just that, but its Porygon 2 cannot be that heavy.
I don't think it's that heavy. I'm not 100% sure what Porygon 2's weight is. I'm about to do a real quick look at it. We're on a Beware. Low kick. It's a 60 base power move from a Beware to a P2, which honestly is a lot more powerful than I thought. I thought it'd be at least a 40 or something like that, or maybe even 20. Another low kick comes out. Porygon 2 barely lives there, gets the discharge off. 30% chance to para, and no para. That is big.
Yeah, he definitely needed that.
That is big. The low kick comes out, and the Porygon 2 is down.
That is your main bulk Pokemon that is gone, and I think the Latios comes out here, but that's a lot of bulk that you're losing, which seems still relatively early in the matchup because these guys are moving pretty fast. But to lose Porygon that fast means you've got to really know what you're getting up. I think he's still setting up his 2 sweepers to put in damage here, and now he doesn't have the Chopper Berry, so he knows close combat's coming. I think he understands that, which is why it looks like he's gonna stay in and go ahead and go for an attack. I'm thinking he sees himself as being able to still take a close combat, but we'll see. Oh no, looks like he's gonna switch out.
Makes a switch.
Which, very good play.
Into the Gothitelle, which at Gothitelle, that's actually big because now Terrakion cannot switch out. Gothitelle's hidden ability Shadow Tag is honestly a really good ability to have if you're trying to trap something. So to have it there is pretty big.
I agree, and I definitely think now that this Terrakion is pretty much going to be Gothitelle fodder, only because now he doesn't have the eject pack to get away.
Nope. As we see,
so he's gonna take the. He's gonna be able to take at least 2 energy balls, but unless he gets some serious damage off. Oh my!
That was a crit.
Oh, that crit came in. So scratch everything I just said. Terrakion's gonna easily take this thing down.
Most likely, unless let's be real. It's he used Stone Edge. That is an 80% accurate move. So.
Oh yeah, he's switching moves. There's no way he uses Stone Edge again.
I don't see it either.
Unless he's trying to secure kill. I feel like close combat does enough damage to secure the job, because that's clearly enough damage with that Stone Edge to do what it needs to do.
Yeah, I honestly would think that he just uses, Mega Horn comes out. I mean, but that's also just like Stone Edge, 85% accurate move.
Right, that was just as risky. It's good that it panned out for him, and I did see Terrakion as being the biggest threat on this team, and it looks like it's, just coming to fruition right now, because he is very quickly running out of options.
Yes. So it's Terrakion as the Starmie makes its appearance on the field. Begs the question, what will the Starmie do in the face of the Terrakion? Because as it just goes for Psychic, Matt opts to let the Terrakion go down. That is big.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that, because I feel like he could have still used it, to take out. He could have used it to take out the Beware, which is still alive, and I feel like that's going to could be detrimental. I'm not saying going to be, could be detrimental, but we'll see. Scizor should be able to take any one hit from a Starmie, but it looks like he's just going to switch right out.
Yep.
But U-turn, I'm expecting right here.
And how about the nickname on the Scizor? Deadpool. A great nickname.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, Bug Bite.
Alright, that does a decent amount of damage. And I don't think... refresh my memory on this. Bug Bite, I do not think it gets a Technician boost. I think it's 5 base power over the Technician's 60% boost.
Bug Bite, actually, if I'm not mistaken, is base 60, so it should get that Technician boost. But even with the Technician boost, that Bug Bite didn't do a whole lot of damage. So if he doesn't go for an Iron Head or something like that here, okay, yeah, Bullet Punch, but I don't think Bullet Punch kills.
It does not.
Yeah, it doesn't kill.
As you see, Yawn. You see a Yawn on the Sylveon, so that was its third move. I don't think we've seen any attacking moves on this Sylveon, have we, Anthony?
It's probably still got Hyper Voice. I feel like Protect comes here because he can always U-turn out, but if you use Protect, that Scizor's going to sleep.
Oh yeah, and Scizor does not want to take a nappy poop right now. And if he does,
I think Matt is weighing his options as he goes for the Swords Dance. So he's opting to just be put to sleep. Is it maybe Lumberry? And there's a Hyper Voice, which is it's not going to do that much. Well, it did a decent amount, probably about 35-40%.
Just about there. And that's with the Pixelate boost. As the Scizor goes to sleep, and there's
no Lumberry.
No Lumberry, no Chestoberry. That Scizor is at least guaranteed to sleep for this turn. So, right now...
That's super risky.
Right now, Matt's got a free whatever he wants to do. He can even do a Wish Protect combo here.
He could. Honestly, if I was going to stay in, I wouldn't have used Swords Dance. I would have used U-turn or Bullet Punch. Because there's no reason for Scizor right now to be asleep, especially when there's a Starmie on the field and a Beware that's just going to be able to take any physical attack, which I can get using Swords Dance for that. But Sylveon was basically a free kill that I'm really surprised he didn't go for, especially considering he probably doesn't have, he doesn't look like he has Sleep Talk or a Lumberry or any type of berry to wake him up. So I guess he just has to hope for the best, because his Beware is standing pretty strong right now.
Yes it is. And again, it's also determined on whether or not the Sleep wakes up, because Sleep and Freeze, those are probably everybody's favorite status conditions to have to endure in Draft League. Especially Freeze.
Oh yeah, they're... Right.
And we see the low kick come out. And the Scizor wakes up and it's got Roost.
That is absolutely lucky. That Beware woke him right up and he was able to get that Roost off, which is good for him now. I still don't like Scizor against him, but against Beware, but at least he knows he lives a low kick. And this will allow him to go for some type of attack that I'm hoping is not... I don't even know what I hope for here because I don't think Bullet Punch kills, but it might because it's at relative. Yeah, no, he ate that.
Yeah, Fluffy, I think, but it takes the Scizor out, so it got a high roll there. That is big.
Ooh, that is big, especially with not having Terrakion now. He's pretty much relying on Latios at a good solid 5% health, or really anywhere between 5 and 10% health to kind of take care of the rest of this team. And I don't know how he deals with the Starmie or the Sylveon for that matter.
I don't either. But the Latios takes down the Beware. And out comes the Starmie.
If this Starmie is bulky in any capacity outside of like 4 HP, he is going to live at least one hit and take this Latios down with an Ice Beam.
Oh, it's faster.
Oh, yeah.
The Latios.
I don't know why I didn't think of that first.
Base 115, base 110. So the Latios goes down. Life Orb damage comes out. And that is it. The Cotswold Whimsicots win 2-0 over the Montreal Milotics. Honestly, that was a really good game. I thought both sides were incredible.
I think both sides played well. I think Dr. Slacking definitely was on his game in terms of predicting almost each and every turn. I felt like he had the control for the good majority of the matchup. I think O'Shea definitely had a chance to win towards the end, but for me, I think his biggest mistake was definitely the scissor misplay going for the Sword Stance, and I don't know if that was, could have maybe been a misclick or something, but I feel like that was probably the biggest turning point in terms of his ability to be able to turn the game around, especially after Terrakion did a lot of mid-game cleaning.
Yeah, the Terrakion was an incredible bring for Matt in this game, as was the Latios in capacity, but above all else, I mean, Life Orb Starmie with Ice Beam, it definitely didn't want to take those kind of hits. I mean, the Terrakion with Eject Pack, I don't think anybody would have predicted Eject Pack Terrakion. And if there's one thing like I said, Addison is probably happy that Eject Pack came, and Kirby is like, Eject Pack? Why? Why Eject Pack? Addison, you are ruining Draft League! You are ruining Draft with the Eject Pack! It is a bad item! And that's my best Kirby impersonation.
Well, I'm not going to say it was good or bad. I'm just going to say keep working on it.
Good enough for me. But aside from that, I mean, both guys, they did phenomenal in this game. There has to be a winner, there has to be a loser, and if we're looking ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pulling up the schedule right now for the CGT. The Cotswold Whimsicots go on to face JV and the Atlanta Victinis, while Matt and the Milotics go and take on the Borussia Donphan. I have honestly never heard of that team before in my life.
Well, there's a lot of new teams too. Pretty much every team in here, except for maybe 3, are all new teams to me. But any team that's modeled after Donphan, I'm gonna root for because Donphan is my third favorite Pokemon. So I'm gonna go ahead and root for them just because of the namesake itself.
Which makes sense. I mean, I probably would pull for JV because Atlanta boy, Atlanta fan, gotta rip the 404 when you can. So, gotta go with him on there, but I mean, all these games look incredible next week. I'm looking forward to seeing what Week 2's Game of the Week is. Ladies and gentlemen, we will leave links to both sides in the description below. You can check out all of the Draft League coaches for CGT also in the description below. And while you're down there, you can follow Anthony at...
Oh, you want me to drop my YouTube channel? All right, so it's going to be for YouTube. It's Sharpie Plays. For Twitter, it's going to be at I am Samehara, which is Sharpedo's Japanese name. So if you want to find me there, you'll find me those two places. You can also follow the SPC if you want to. Just go to Twitter, type in SPC League, and you should see us there.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter at JoeCarlino14. You can follow my YouTube and Twitch channels, both the same, TalonMasterJ. As always, I want to thank Anthony and the Savannah Sharpedos for coming out here and being part of the CGT Game of the Week casting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys for Game 2. And be ready, because the champions, they're in this tournament for some blood.